Hi you guys, I hope that you are doing well. Welcome to my IGTV all around managing your relationship with food right now, managing your body image, managing worries about weight gain and eating everything in the cupboards, because these are the messages, these are literally the words that I've been getting through my inbox. So I wanted to put something together for this really strange, unprecedented time of how I can help you in this area to manage a little bit better. And it is a really hard time. You know, we all are kind of learning, I suppose, how to manage this together, how to cope the best. I'm not going to say that I'm an expert in this, but I can obviously help you in my expert area, which is around food and body image and just feeling a little bit better about all of that stuff. So this is what the IGTV is going to be about. And I actually am 99% sure that I had the virus about a week, just over a week ago now. So I've just come out of my isolation. I went on my first walk a couple of days ago, and whilst for me it was a pretty horrible, you know, flu. The fever was really bad, the fatigue was really bad, but apart from that I feel very lucky because I'm young and healthy, and I can definitely see how someone that's vulnerable that would affect really, really badly. So I feel very lucky to have recovered, but it definitely gave me an insight because I had been around a lot of people the week before, and I think there was so many chances I could have picked it up, and this was before we were really told how important the distancing was. But I was really careful. You know, I was wiping down the steering wheel in my driving lesson, and I was washing my hands every single time I moved on and off of transport or anything like that, and I still got it. So it is worth being really, really mindful and careful of, and not to scaremonger you, just to say that these regulations are in place for a reason at the moment, and it's so important that we listen to them. But let's get down to it. Let me work you through some of the questions. I've got all the questions here that people have sent in through for me of how I can help you at this time. And I wanted to start with probably the biggest one that I'm seeing people struggle with at the moment, and the thing that's worrying them the most, and this is weight gain. And the first thing I want to say on this, and I did do a post on this as well, is gaining some perspective at this time. I know that if you've struggled with your relationship with food and your body image, and if you're in recovery from an eating disorder, I get it, and I know that weight gain can be one of the most terrifying things. But I'm also seeing a lot of kind of memes and jokes around it, around not being summer body ready or getting really fat. And you know, we've got to be really mindful of that language, because a lot of people genuinely do really fear it from a kind of eating disorder mindset place. And let's be honest, right now we're in a pandemic. The worst thing that could happen to you is gaining some weight. You know, if our bodies do change, do become softer, we've got to really reframe the situation and remember that that is not the worst thing that could happen. Things that you can do to stop obsessing about this is, you know, not weighing yourself, not measuring or anything like that, not, you know, going to put on clothes to check if they still fit. The best thing you can do right now is think, how can I look after myself, my mind, my body, my mental health, my emotional health? If you want to, you know, keep active and do all those normal things, great. If they are also going to help your mental health too. But overcompensating and trying to focus on keeping your body smaller is only going to make things harder for you right now, and it's only going to increase those feelings of obsession and uncertainty. So take the focus off that. Disengage with diet talk, adverts, people that are encouraging us to be thinner and be smaller and make sure that we're burning off everything we eat at the moment. They are not the messages that are going to help right now. So it's a very normal, I would say, reaction for a lot of people to be worried about this kind of time being a time for weight gain. But as I said, reframe the situation. You have no evidence that that's even going to happen. The best thing you can do is focusing on your relationship with your body and your relationship with food, as opposed to the number on the scale. So don't fall into those patterns, and try and reduce those patterns if you are finding that you're doing them a lot. And that kind of leads me on to exercise. Now, we are so lucky that we have so many free resources on the internet for you to access, from yoga to, you know, HIIT workouts or Pilates, whatever it is that you want to do. And that's amazing, and take advantage of them if you enjoy them, dance classes, whatever. But don't feel like you need to do more than normal. Don't be pushing yourself on days where you don't want to. It's perfectly fine to just take some time out and take some time to rest. I hadn't exercised in nearly a couple of weeks because of the illness, and I just waited until I felt better, and then I slowly introduced myself into it. I have a dog, I love walking. Exercise for me really helps my mental health, but it has to be something that's benefiting you overall and that you're not falling into an obsessive trap with. So be mindful of forcing yourself into doing things. Try and get a flow that works for you. Take advantage of things that are also going to help your mindset, like yoga, for example, like breath work. Don't make it all around having to punish yourself through cardio-based exercises. Remember, your cortisol levels are also going to peak if you do put too much stress on the body. So if you want to think about your immune system and, you know, keeping that where it is and just generally feeling better in yourself, work on how you see exercise as a positive tool and not a punishment right now. It shouldn't be a compensatory tool at all. We should be able to live flexibly around food in our bodies without exercise or what we eat having to determine our worth. So be really mindful for that, and again, steer clear of the messages that might be pushing that. Right now, I feel so grateful to even get outside for an hour, so make the most of that. And if you're forcing yourself to go for a run, slow down, take a look around you, take in the fact that right now we are so lucky to even be able to be outdoors. Take it in, be grateful for a moment. That should also really help with that mindset. So another common question or message I've been getting, which I mentioned at the beginning, was what am I going to do? I'm going to eat my cupboards dry. Now, first of all, we always tend to go into these black and white kind of belief systems around food, and a lot of that again is down to diet culture and the way that we're told to look at food. And I want you to remember that really that's not likely to happen, and the more you restrict, the more you're going to ignite that deprivation schema and actually end up thinking more and more about these foods, being more obsessive, and, you know, end up in a binge restrict cycle. The more you restrict, the more you're likely to binge. If you finish a binge, the best thing you can do is go back and eat your kind of regular meals again. Do not restrict again, because it's going to impact that energy level. So I'm also going to say that if you did eat everything in the cupboards, is that the worst thing you could do right now? If you do eat a little bit more than normal, if your eating pattern's all over the place, mine has been all over the place. Some days I'm hungrier than others, other days I'm not. Part of normal eating is understanding that we don't always eat the same. So you really need to look at this with a little bit more compassion right now. Take some deep breaths, check in with how you're feeling. Are you letting people know how you feel? Could you write things down? A really nice technique that I like to do if you're feeling very anxious around food is to breathe in and out, clench your fists to bring some feeling into the body. Take a deep breath and just thank your mind. So thank you, mind, I accept this feeling. I accept what's coming up right now. I accept that I feel anxious around food. Can you do anything then for the next few minutes to calm you down? Can you change rooms? Can you put on some calming music? Maybe some loud music, maybe dance around to it. Maybe you need to punch a pillow. Maybe you need to scream into a pillow. That's okay. It's so important right now, if you're struggling with your relationship with food, to release how you're feeling as much as you can, because that means that you're far less likely to use food as a crutch. But I want you to remember that if you do find yourself falling into some disordered patterns, that's you simply trying to cope. So think of all the other ways that you can try and cope right now. Think of all the much ways that are healthier for you mentally, physically, emotionally, and do reach out if you need more support. Please do reach out. And remember that that diet mentality is only going to ensue further disordered eating behaviours, and those worries around binging. If you're not restricting, you're going to make it a lot easier for yourself not to fall into that pattern. Don't make foods off limits. This is a great time to focus on that healing and think, I'm so lucky to have the food available to me right now. Can I get creative with cooking? Can I try something that I haven't tried in ages? Try and make it a positive experience and not let yourself get back into those rules. Which again is another question I've had around restriction. What if I'm calorie counting again? How do I stop that happening? Reframe it. Remember that when you come out of this, and when we come out of the pandemic, which we will, you do not want to have a worse relationship with food than you do now. If you can do anything to rein that in, reframing your thoughts, writing them down, reaching out for help, you know, start small. Maybe you need to plan out some meals that you're going to eat if you're in that place. Maybe you need to think about, okay, let's just take baby steps, and let's, you know, have my breakfast, take some deep breaths, do some breathing exercises, let someone know how you're feeling. And a really good exercise to do is write down all the pros and cons of recovery. Write down all the things you have gained in your life through having a better relationship with food in your body, and the things that it could cost you if you were going to fall back into those patterns. So gaining some perspective when this is happening is also really important, as well as, of course, reaching out to healthcare professionals, your loved ones, and anyone that you can rely on for support in this time is really going to help you manage all of this. And I actually wanted to give you guys a task to go away with. I will be doing some more IGTVs as we go along, but I've been giving this to my clients and it's been really helpful for them. And it's almost like a bucket list that I want you to write, a bucket list of all the things post 12 weeks, please God and beyond, you will be able to do, whether that's going out for a meal with friends, booking that holiday, wearing that dress you've been putting off because you don't feel good enough in your body, reaching out to that old friend, putting yourself out there more, dream job, whatever it is. Make those things a priority. Having that list there and having those positive intentions, forward focus, is going to really help with your mindset right now and help you focus on the future and feel a lot more positive. And if you can think, if I can just get myself through this with the tools that I have, reaching out to people around me, taking one day at a time, it will feel a lot easier than thinking about how difficult it's going to be. All any of us can do at the moment is take it day by day. So give that a go. And if you want to reach out for me for more support, please do. You can email me, you can send me a DM. I've got a couple of one-to-one slots going at the moment. I have a webinar series, which I will link here, that you can join, and it's going to be around managing your relationship with food, restriction, binging, making friends with food, and then around body image. And then the final one is going to be drawing it all together and talking about how to manage yourself through this time and beyond and into the summer, and dealing with those anxieties that again may rear its head around things like weight gain and bodily changes. But remember, we literally are all in this together. You do not need to go to war with your body right now. The worst thing you could do is go to war with your body. Think about all the things I've said today. Try some of the tools out that I've said. Take each day as it comes. Please reach out if this has been helpful, or if you have any other topics that you want me to do it on. And just know that you are loved, you are safe, and if you can, whatever you can do right now that's going to be a helpful thing for your mental health and for how you feel in this situation, just let's try and do more of that. Let's not look to tearing our bodies down and using food as a way to control that, because it's not going to help things. So I really hope this has helped you, and I will see you guys soon.